Welcome to the island of Kauai, the oldest island in the Hawaiian archipelago. Is that the right? How do you say it?
Archipelago.
Archipelago. Okay, thank you. I'm bad at words. This is the oldest island, and we have learned that it is the fastest deteriorating island because it rains a lot here, and when it rains a lot of time, the mud flows into the ocean, and the island is getting smaller. And apparently, they had a huge flood like last week or something like that.
You can still see remnants of it behind us.
This road. It looks like it's a dirt road, but it's actually sealed. And we have been coming up into we're just going for a drive. And we were like, let's just drive, and it's kind of hot outside, so let's go to the forest. So we're going into the woods or the rainforest area.
I just chose a squiggle on the map.
Basically.
Well, I chose like 4 squiggles, and a lot of them were closed. And then this one was open, but then it made us go down a very weird road that was like a side road of a power plant. I don't really know. And then a tree tried to get into the car.
So we're at a state in the day where we have to open a gate to progress, like quite literally. So there's this gate here.
It seems okay. It's not locked.
It's not locked?
No. It pops,
how do you open it?
It pops open like this, and then I can swing it in either direction. So.
Okay, so we're going to escape this little area.
Yep.
And we thought we'd introduce you quickly to the car as well. The car's name is...
Full coverage.
And the reason his name is Full Coverage is because we ordered full coverage on the car by accident. We usually don't do the full insurance or whatever, but now we have full coverage, so that's the car's name.
I even tried to reduce, like, can I take it down? Can I take it down? She's like, it's already prepaid. It's already prepaid, so...
What's interesting about this, too, is when we went to pick it up, we got it from Budget, but Katie booked it through rentalcars.com, right?
Yeah.
And then for some reason, she booked it... Is that a Japanese thing or something? Because the lady was like, you need either a Japanese driver's license or a Japanese passport to take this car. And I was like, I don't have neither of those. I'm an American in America with an American license and American passport. And I live in Japan. It was really complicated.
It was very complicated.
In the end, because we live in Japan and we could show her the Japanese ID, it all worked out. But it was a little bit of we were like, are we not going to have a car in a place we have to have a car? Because this is not a public transportation island. Yep. Like, that has become very, very obvious very quickly. Mm-hmm. But
we've got full coverage.
We've got full coverage. Speaking of transportation, let's try to transport our way past this gate.
Okay, here we go. You have to bring the car. Can you honk the horn when you come through?
I'll honk the horn now.
Full coverage.
Full coverage, baby.
He needs to come back and get me.
All right, we come to this road, and it is a paved road, but then sometimes it's not paved, and then sometimes the paved is completely covered with mud. And in this case, I don't think full coverage is going to make it.
Yeah, we pulled over, and I sat here thinking, like, oh, maybe if we went to the side or something, and then this Jeep just rolled down, and it looked like it was almost water skiing through it. Mm-hmm. It was really like getting a good slide on. Yeah. I was like, okay, I see why we're not going over there.
And we do have full coverage, but we did not get the $8 a day towing
or roadside
assistance.
Yeah.
So that looks like a thing that we would end up needing in this particular situation. Yeah. And instead, I think we're just going to turn around.
Eric, there's mosquitoes.
There is mosquitoes, man.
Let's get out of here.
All right. You're going to give them diseases with your chikungunya.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Philippines series. Just continued cruising down that road, and we came across a cemetery, and we pulled over, and it's a Japanese cemetery, which it seems a little bit surprising to see a Japanese cemetery, but on the other hand, they've had a huge Japanese population in Hawaii in the past, and it just seems like, okay, well, of course, there's going to be some people that are still tied to those people that are living here, and they are eventually dying. And it's the same exact style that you would see in Japan for a Japanese cemetery.
The only thing they're missing are those slats. You know, the giant slats.
Yeah, they don't have that.
It feels like a combination where some things have been left, and it's definitely got a real headstone feel.
But it seems as if they're still doing like family burials. Like it's like the entire family is represented by one headstone, and it'll list the years each person died with the family name at the top. And it also writes the name of where the family is from on the gravestone as well. So it'll be like Kumamoto Ken or whatever, Kyoto or wherever they're from. And it is we feel like we're pretty in a fairly remote place. There haven't been any cars going by or anything, but the view from the graveyard is pretty amazing. We've got this really jagged hill just popping up out of this valley. And from what we have just glanced over the few hours we've been here, that seems like that's a pretty common theme of what the landscape here looks like on this island.
Yeah, beautiful so far.
I'm excited to see some more of it. Another tidbit about Kauai is it is the island in Hawaii with the most rivers. And we have already seen quite a few of them, and that was something I guess that we didn't see that too much on the big island of Hawaii. So a couple of waterfalls, but not areas with just rivers flowing through them. And we have come to a place where a road looked like it might have been at one point, but not anymore, because it's like this little riverish lagoon that flows out into the ocean.
A whole bunch of people left their shoes over there at the forest lake. That's the Genkan to the beach.
I left my shoes over at the Genkan.
I'm just trucking right into the beach, spoiling it for everyone.
It's like 3 or 4 o'clock, and we have come down to a beach that we didn't anticipate being down a very muddy hill, but we found a muddy hill and we went down it.
Yeah,
people were like sliding downhill.
yeah, the lady fell, and the Google Maps said it was the secret entrance. Once it's on Google Maps,
it ain't secret anymore.
Secret.
And it is time for fika. And so when the last time I lived in America, Twinkies existed. And then I heard that Twinkies didn't exist, and then they once again existed, and now they got chocolate Twinkies.
It smell like Choco Puffs when you open the bag.
So we're in a totally new world here. Oh yeah, they do smell like Choco Puffs. The cereal, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. This is my first chocolate Twinkie. I don't know if this is a new thing or if everybody's like, it's chocolate Twinkie, who cares?
To the evolution of Twinkies.
Twinkie evolution.
That's good.
It is good, and I feel like it brings along the essence and the spirit of the Twinkies game, but chocolatifies it. I approve of this.
Yep.
So we're starting to get this Hawaii thing down. We saw a big cloud coming.
Yeah, I saw it in the distance and I was like, that is scary.
You said, that looks doomsday-esque.
That's what I said.
So that hill that we went up and down, I mean, it wasn't like nightmarish, but if it was pouring rain, it would be hell.
If it was raining, I would just tell us we're waiting down here until it's done.
Yeah. And
then
it would be a mess.
It still wouldn't even
doomed,
be any better.
Dude. It'd be a bummer.
Yeah.
It'd be a bummer.
I'm really glad I just looked to the side and saw that cloud. Right now it's just starting to drizzle a little bit, and maybe it won't rain at all, but at least I feel like I didn't get stuck in anything at all, and I was cautious. We've come to the Makauwahi. I think I did. Makauwahi. Yeah, it feels a lot better when I do it that way. The Makauwahi cave. And the major thing that I read about it is at some point you gotta tuck down and actually like crawl to get to where you want to go, and something about a sinkhole. I think we're gonna learn a little bit more about that as we go in, but that's what's attracted us so far. And we came up a little road that had like these amazing trees. They call it the tree tunnel, and we got to ride through that on the way here. And now we're kind of next to the beach, but just following a little trail that says that we'll get to the cave somehow, some way. They're small children. Let's ask them the directions. It's checkpoint number 4. As you make your way carefully down with this winding path, you are walking on the headprint of a large cave passage underneath. Awesomely, we found a pamphlet about this cave, which was surprising because we're not paying to come in here, so I'm surprised that somebody is handing out pamphlets about it. I'm gonna slip mine back in there so they can save some money, but for now, we're learning stuff with it. And we just found out that what you see in the distance there is a volcanic splatter cone. So I'm assuming that perhaps some volcanic stuff came over here, plopped down, and it just cooled in an actual cone shape, and now we're seeing grass growing on it, and volcanoes, dude. I have verified it's definitely a sinkhole. Thank you, Pamphlet.
Can you tell the people how you feel about sinkholes? What's Katie's feelings on sinkholes?
I'm not very keen on sinkholes. I don't really. It's probably like a very terrible natural. It's not natural because we made it. It's
No, it can be a natural disaster for sure. I think
most of the ones I've heard of, maybe not so much.
because of like poor construction or
Yeah,
whatever, sewer systems or
poor
whatever,
sewer
and then
systems,
the
yeah.
city
I remember
collapses.
long ago watching the news, and there was like something nearby us, and a sinkhole had happened, and a house had fallen into it, and they could hear the man still screaming down at the bottom, like to be helped, and they couldn't go down and help him, and they didn't, and he didn't live. And that just scars me for sinkholes. Sinkholes in general are just terrifying. You don't know when they're going to happen. It's just like any other disaster, except it's right under your feet.
It's kind of like we were talking about on the other island, the lava. Like you can't really do anything about lava flowing. If your house just happens to be over a sinkhole and some scientist hasn't figured out that it's going to happen, your house just gets swallowed up by the sinkhole.
Yeah.
So it's scary, and it's like the earth that you have all this grounding in. Like you trust the ground to be there, and then all of a sudden it can just collapse and make this gigantic cavern like this.
Yeah.
It's pretty spooky, man.
And I imagine this is going to be beautiful and whatnot, but if you were sitting there reading a book in your bed and then just all of a sudden came down, like,
For sure, scary stuff.
So definitely scary stuff, but I'm going to enjoy this sinkhole as it is. Can you see the cock over there? It's under the table. This is completely off topic, but just wanted to update everybody on the nice cock game. Here in Kauai, there are so many wild chickens. We are not able to play the nice cock game with live ones because Eric was just going down the road going, nice cock, nice cock, nice cock, nice cock, nice cock. It was too much. It was way too much. So we have forbid them. It can only be non-real cocks. There's a different pamphlet for inside the cave.
To get into the sinkhole, you gotta go through this little hole, this little cave, and the clearance isn't super good. I'm gonna have to duck a little bit. Let me make sure that I'm not gonna hang any crack here, because this is one of those situations you wanna pull those up, you know what I'm saying? It's carpet. It's muddy carpet.
Squish.
Yeah, it's just squishy, muddy carpet. Okay. So that's easy on the knees. Ow! Yeah.
Duck walking it. Done duck walked it.
Don't stand all the way up yet.
My head.
You're good, and you can stand.
Can you stand?
I can stand, yeah.
Good.
It's not too bad. But that part got me on the back. Kinda hurts. This is pretty cool looking. The way the light is coming in. It's awesome.
It's weird to go into the butt of a cave. Was that the butt?
Yeah. We read that these palm trees are part of an old species that isn't doing so well anymore, like a not extinct but endangered species of palm. I wouldn't know the difference between this palm tree and another palm tree, but somebody out there knows. And these have been planted here in 2008, I think they said, 2002, and they're now over 40 foot tall. So as you can see, palm trees are rapid expanders. Because I was born in 1980, and I'm only 6'7", so they've got a lot more growing skills.
Just met a lovely lady named Leslie that works here at the cave, and she gave us the ins and outs of everything that's happening here. And as we came in just through the crack, previously the cave 7,000 years ago used to have a cover on it. The sinkhole was actually the top of the cave falling down. And so that's why we see what we see today, that just completely collapsed 7,000 years ago. Other things that are of interest in the cave are that the Hawaiians used to come here, and the king would sit here and do...
No. The big kahuna.
The big kahuna, yes. Yeah, the big kahuna would come, and he would be here, and he would burn leaves and twigs that had been rolled into the wet mud and create smoke and read the future. And now I'm going to show you all the cool things that Leslie showed us in the cave. I've got a light. Let's go. I've kind of got a light. Her light was way better than mine. First, she showed us some cave popcorn. That popcorn is actually hanging from the ceiling. I don't know if it's necessarily that it would always come from the ceiling, but the color that you saw of it's kind of matching the cave, and Leslie explained to us that that is a sign that that popcorn has died. It's an actual living organism that's kind of growing off of the wall. Let's go look at one that's alive so I can show you the difference. Watch out for that. This one is darker and shows that it's still growing, and Leslie equated it to kind of like coral that you'd see in the ocean. That kind of gives it this livableness, that it's actually alive and actually growing. The next thing is not alive. I don't know if it's growing, but it is called cave bacon. I would not advise eating it. Water drips down along these ridges and then in the end makes a white color at the edge, which looks like that fatty bit on the bacon. And this one, for some reason, just looks like teeth.
As we're walking out, there's another group coming in, and Leslie, the tour guide, was explaining to them the same thing she explains to basically everybody that comes in here. And we had forgot to mention this, but this is a fossilized sand dune, because we're right by the ocean. And this entire thing has somehow, I'm not sure how you fossilize a sand dune, maybe lava? I don't know.
I have no idea.
But that's what she keeps explaining. She says a fossilized sand dune, and that's what created the entire cave structure. Mm-hmm. And then, like what we said before, what we're in right now, we're standing in the sinkhole, and what would have been above us would have been the ceiling of the cave. But 7,000 years ago, something happened.
Yeah.
And down it came.
Almost forgot this really cool tidbit. Inside the cave, there is a species of spider that is only here. It is the Kauai blind cave wolf spider, and every year a team of people goes back further into the cave than we were allowed to go, and they count how many spiders are still living of this species, because this is the place to come for that. Right now, there's about 40. Low clearance? No worries. So I was worried about the 40 spiders in the cave eating my brains. I forgot. Outside, there's still spiders. Let's talk about travel for a minute. We can skedaddle. So we just got out of that cave. I'm pretty hungry, like I'm lunch hungry. And I know there's a restaurant near here that I really want to go to. And then you see a sign that's just like, it points in a direction and says Tortoises. It doesn't matter how far those tortoises are away. You want to go and see them. So I look at Eric and I immediately just go, we're probably gonna have to get those emergency peanuts out because I'm at lunch hungry, but there are tortoises here.
The good news is I think we're at the Tortoises. Look,
sweet.
It says step over the fence.
I can go in there?
Yeah.
What? Let's go hug them.
I don't know, that's how you dance with a tortoise, baby.
I found one off the trail. He's really big. We found the number 2 tortoise. We don't know where the number 1 tortoise is, but this is the number 2. And he is just kind of hanging out in his domain, doing what he does. So, one tortoise pen has led to another tortoise pen. This tortoise pen is supposed to have more females in it. We saw the names of 4 females, hoping to find maybe at least one. At the very least, I'm already stunned with the big boy we saw. We're pretty sure that's the stud of the farm over there. And we'll see if we can find any ladies. I saw a chicken. What you have to do is get down low and look for any moving rocks. Is what you have to do. Did you really hear it?
Yeah.
Great. I've got something. I found a girl.
What number?
I didn't see the number. I just saw her and then I came to get you. She's right here. She's having a munch. She's a little bit smaller.
I feel like this is that senior prank where you get like 4 pigs and you number them 1, 2, 4, and 5, and then you let them loose in the school, like maybe with a butter on them or something to make them hard to get, and then they're like running around. They can't ever find the missing number. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what our turtle situation is going on. Tortoise situation. That was racist to call them turtles, wasn't it?
Yes.
Sorry, guys. So yeah, that's what I feel like we're in right now. But we did find what I think is, yeah, there's a lot of spiders. We found, I think we're right. I think the one on the side was a male because he was like sticking his head through the fence and like sniffing and stuff. Like he could smell the girls maybe because they're on, he was on that side or whatever.
He knows where the babes are.
And he was also big.
Yeah.
And it got really dark. It got really dark there for a second. We're back.
Yeah.
And we then found this one, and it was quite a bit smaller. And on this fence, there's girl names. And I'm assuming that means that, this side is the girls and this side is the boys. But she didn't have a number.
We need to get out of here.
So I don't know if she is, I don't know her name.
That's where I live now.
This is where you are, the girl pasture. Oh, is this it? You're kicking out because I'm the big...
put a kyde up here. I'm going to do like F21, something like that.
You have to get a tattoo gun to mark you.
There you go. If the tree falls down. I want this. All right, so we saw the tortoises. That was pretty awesome, and I was like, all right, we're heading back to the car. And I'm quite excited about heading back to the car because burritos are gonna happen, I think. So I'm psyched about that. But then we both remembered that a passerby had told us, keep walking all the way down because there's an amazing looking bay at the end. So that's what we're heading for. But I want that burrito. We've whipped around the bay and it got real windy over here, so we've been hit with some sand, which is a bit ouchy, but it's quite beautiful. I mean, from the mountains that we can see all the way down the coastline of the beach, it's just gorgeous.
Did you say ouchie?
I might have said ouchie. So now we've come to a place called De Crack, and when I saw this name for the first time, I was like, what? Seriously? But that is the name of a restaurant. It has a backstory. We won't go into it, but this is probably the biggest burrito I've ever had. I'm going to say ever had.
Are you gonna eat the whole thing?
I bought it. And I don't like to waste food. I think I got in over my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You probably gotta split that burrito, y'all. But I got one of my own.
How is my burrito bigger than yours?
I got the vegetarian one, so I don't know. Maybe this is the extra meat or whatever they slam in there. But yeah,
amazing. Okay, let me have a little bit of it.
Whoa, it looks delicious. So the deal is like we live in Japan. Like you can't get a burrito like this in Japan.
No.
Like it's just not a thing. Our sushi game is strong, but our Mexican game is really weak.
Yeah. Oh.
Are you full?
I can already see the coma, the food coma coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be brutal.
It's going to be brutal.
This is without a doubt the best burrito I've had since I was in San Francisco, I guess, years ago. But I mean, we've been in Japan and Europe in the meantime. Neither of those places are really that renowned for their Mexican cuisine, Mexican based.
A lot of Mexican joints in Scotland just went. It's true.
I am a little surprised though because this has drifted, I guess, this far. But it's maybe kind of like how their Japanese game is kind of okay. Maybe this is
wind, water, and wings. How did this get over here? Definitely wings on a plane. Somebody brought this over and they were like,
maybe this came over by the word. They got explained.
Fourth W.
Yeah, fourth W.
Fourth W.
This is a deep what was it? Ranger Jackie? Jamie. This is a deep Ranger deep shot on Ranger Jamie from the Big Island. Yeah, but it makes me wonder if their Japanese food game is relatively decent here. Their Mexican food game is relatively decent here. Is this maybe the best place to eat in the world? Because are there any other cuisines that you really need? Really?
Good question.
So, like, when you eat a burrito, like, if you don't got burrito skills, then you end up with a puddle in your little box. What's going on here? Why is this difficult? Oh, you're about to get pecked by a chicken. Do you see that? He's coming right for your toes.
Oh, dang, son.
They look like beans, if you better watch out.
They do look like beans.
And you're a burrito master. This is what you end up with. There's nothing here. This is so bone dry, I can put the camera in it to hold it down from the wind. What is going on over here?
Mine's held down by the level of liquid. It's fine. We came to the Kauai Coffee Company because I just wanted to get something special for a friend that drinks a lot of coffee. And we ended up here during their tour that happens at like whatever o'clock. And the tour was your general tour about coffee, things that are being grown here, what they're doing. There are 4 million trees here, which is amazing to know. We're in harvest season right now, so we might get to see some amazing equipment that I'm going to show you in just a sec. Other notable things that are going on is the fruit outside of the coffee bean is a laxative. So if you get into a coffee field and you think you're on your way to having a good time, be careful.
Well, it depends on how you define your good time.
But this is she said they also use these harvesters for coffee, obviously here, but they do it for like blueberries and other types of fruits that you need to be gentle as you go through a bush of something. The coffee tree or bush of whatever goes right into here, and this does not look like this is going to be good for anyone or anything, but these things just kind of gently knock on the branches and knock off all of the
Coffee cherries.
Coffee cherries, yes, that's a great.
That's what
Good
she
job,
said.
yes, good job. And then it knocks them down into these conveyor belts that as the machine moves forward, these things move backwards, and then those cherries end up going back here to this big old bucket. I love machines. I want to drive this very badly. I want to do things with it. That's very cool. And then from that point, they'll take those cherries and they'll put them into a big vat of water, and all the good ones will sink to the bottom and all of the bad ones will sink to the top, just like eggs, if you didn't know that. That's the same thing that happens with eggs.
Wait, isn't that just like if you've got them boiled or not? No, that's when you spin them.
That's when they're fresh. You spin. A lot of testing of eggs goes on at our house. And a lot more things happen with the coffee, but now that we've gone through the like half an hour tour and they're only open for another half an hour, we're gonna go taste that coffee. This is the rainbow of coffee cherries. This is mature but unripe. This is ripe and this is overripe. Both of these, if they went into like the water, they would float. Goodbye. Actually, I wasn't supposed to do that. I gotta go pick those up because I was told that I wasn't allowed to do that. And then you're supposed to be able to squish it. Oh, gross. And there is coffee bean. I never knew they came in fruit. I thought they just grew in the bean on the thing. This was very informative for me.
I just kind of assumed that they grew in pea. Whoa, spider.
Whoa!
I assumed that they just grew in pea pods, like they're beans, right? Like a green bean.
Oh.
I don't know. I never thought about it.
Nobody
where coffee
knows
comes
about
from.
coffee until you know
And it comes in
coffee.
a cherry. It's not at all what I would have guessed.
This is a laxative. Oh, I can't see it.
So I don't really drink coffee because I don't like the caffeine feeling, like that feeling of like energy pouring through your soul. But I do like coffee flavored stuff. So I got some coffee ice cream that they've got here to give it a try. And this specific type has got like chocolate and stuff and caramel and all kinds of things like mixed in with it. It's a bit of an icy ice cream. Well, it's got that coffee flavor, like chocolate. Oh, it's not bad. A little bite.
Just a man sitting at a table,
Eating
alone,
some ice cream.
eating
alone.
coffee, talking to himself.
Yeah, that's me. You want a bite of this?
Yeah,
Get up on it.
it's quite creamy.
It's got like caramel and stuff on it.
Oh, okay. I'll take a coffee bite when you got one.
That is not a coffee bite?
It's just
Can I dip
caramel.
it in your coffee?
If you want.
All right, we're gonna get a little bit of coffee action going on here. Oh, it was a funky adventure. That's all right. Here, that looks more coffee-like. I wonder if the camera can see us at all. The lighting is all crazy looking on the screen.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, she said it was like a turtle or truffle or something.
I went on a taste test adventure, and I chose the rooster as the best one.
Me too. I chose the rooster. That's the only one I drank.
Yeah. So hopefully they have that for sale, and a friend will be very happy because nice cock.
It's actually pretty good. I recommend this.
We jumped in the car after the coffee spectacular that we were just at, and we've ended up at the edge. I'm watching your face.
I liked it. I liked it.
Oh, you liked the coffee spectacular?
Yeah.
Damn it. We ended up at the edge of the Waimea Canyon, and we're not going there today. I don't know what day we're going to get over there, but it already looks very gorgeous, even as the sun is setting on it. They call it the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, and I'm very excited to go inside of it. I guess I shouldn't say you can go inside of it because I don't know that yet. We will definitely be driving through parts of it and possibly going on some hikes, but it just looks great.
What's cool is that if you've seen the Grand Canyon, it's got a specific look, and this one is kind of the same like dramatic drop, only it's really green.
It's super green.
Yeah,
Like
it's full of trees.
I don't know why, but in my mind, the Grand Canyon has taught me that canyons don't have
Trees?
stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it. It's just an arid desert. If it's
Yeah.
a canyon, doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the rainforest, there will be nothing there. And this is showing me that I know nothing.
I hope we learned what caused this to be here. Is
Yeah.
it like an old lava flow, or was it an earthquake
Old-
that got ripped up that part, or was it a big
Huge
cave
river,
that fell in, or a
or-
river? Like, why is this here, and why? It's really cool looking.
There will be
Exciting.
a pamphlet, I promise.
I'm excited about
I
this
promise
pamphlet.
a pamphlet could happen.
Coffee spectacular.
Things we've learned in Kauai: chickens can climb trees. What? Actually, they just fly up there.
That's
But
even a
chicken-
bigger what?
Chickens can fly? I know that it's a bird, but have you ever seen it before? We hadn't seen it until now. When the rooster does it, it's majestic.
Typically, I like to get up in this cat zone when I'm on trips or whenever I see a cat. But these cats seem like they're probably feral cats. Like, these are kind of wild-esque cats. I'm not sure what the history behind the cat situation is, but we saw quite a few on the Big Island. And there is a substantial squadron of cats in this area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 of them. I haven't seen any of them flying yet, but haven't done a lot of observations. Maybe that's a thing they can do. But I tried to kind of go over there, but I think they're going to all skedaddle away. A chicken just flew. Yeah, they are. Well, maybe. I don't know. This one, maybe? No? No, I don't think so. Yeah, these are feral cats. They are not people cats. Not at all.
So you know how we came to this fort?
Yeah.
We broke the first rule. It says, do not climb on the walls. That's immediately what we
We
did.
didn't see the sign. Like, it was
Yeah.
over here. We walked way over there.
Yeah, we
By
did
the
walk
cats.
over there. Apparently, before going into all sites, stop and look at
We
their
will-
signs before you break the rules. Look like a dumbass. This dumbass has learned a little bit about this fort. Turns out that the Russians wanted trading between them and the northwest of America, so they set up this fort here. There were 2 other forts on the island. This fort functioned under the Russians for 2 years, and the Hawaiians were like, yeah, sounds great, go ahead and do that. And then once the Russians had gotten this to a functional point, the Hawaiians said, okay, bye-bye. And they told them to leave, and then the Hawaiians had this fort for the next, 50 years or something like that, which I thought was quite comical. Bye-bye, Russians.
Where we live in Japan, for the most part, toilets are amazing. That sounds ridiculous, but even public toilets, when you go to a shopping mall or something, you find a nice public toilet, the stall is all the way to the floor, and there's no cracks, you can't see nobody peeking in or anything like that. It's a wonderful experience, very relaxing. And even, you go to a public park or something, they're not great, but they're still functional, they're usable. I'm gonna walk into the public toilet here at the Russian fort, and I'm gonna show you nightmare fuel. This is where the loo is, And I don't know if you can notice, but like, there's no, like, if I walked in here and somebody was sitting there doing their business, me and that guy, dude, we making eye contact. And I think I might literally rather die than make eye contact with somebody while I'm dropping a deuce. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a little sensitive or whatever, but maybe they could just build that wall a little bit higher.
Are you talking about low walls?
Yeah.
Because when we went to some Vietnamese restaurant on the Big Island, and the wall was literally up to here when I was standing up. And as I stood up and I'm like pulling my pants on, a girl came in. She's like, "Hey, how are you?" I'm in the toilet. But I said, "I'm doing good. How are you?" Shotgun. My bag is very dark.
So we actually have a Japanese friend who had moved to America for a while. And before going, do you remember what she said she was like most worried about before moving to America from Japan?
Privacy in the toilets.
Yeah, like the gaps between there and like being able to see into the feet
how
and stuff, being able to see the feet. She was like, I am freaked out about this situation.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the same page, man. I am not okay.
I want to say that I don't care, but I care. I know that I can not care. Like, I'm just going to go into the situation and then whatever happens, happens, but I care before the situation.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I've been in way worse toilets in my life in other countries, but this is a developed nation, y'all. You need to get your game together.
Just to let everyone know, for smell-o-vision, it smells like bananas in this car because we left them in here and it's kind of warm. Hearing them bark, 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 coming from the sky is pretty interesting. There's two in there.
No, dude, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I wonder if they sleep up there.
Yeah, it's probably right up there. Remember last night when the sun was going down?
Thanks for exploring Kauai with us. More from the island is on the way soon. Make sure you're subscribed and belled so you don't miss it. Support from everyone at Patreon makes these videos possible. Check out our Patreon linked below to help keep videos coming.